Okay.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to RTO Season 6, round number 4. That's right, the dual race series. We're already into round 4, of course, very wet. And we eventually got there. Laguna Seca last time out, and that adds another track to the rear view mirror. It is... let's not be about the bush. It's Donington tonight, a track that puts the absolute fear of God into me, and one of the reasons why I am eternally grateful I am a commentator. The drivers, as we can hear, are in practice at the moment. The season format, as we saw there, it is 2 races per evening, 16 races over the series, 14 races in total will count towards the drivers' total points at the end of the season. We've got pros, silvers and AMs all out on track, and all of course sponsored by Luke Addison Racing. It's a platform where you can develop further as a sim racer in a set of corso competizione through setups and coaching. Luke is looking to help people who share in his interest in sim racing by creating setups that could help you get your lap times down by having a setup that is stable, fast and consistent. He also offers coaching if you need guidance on where to find those extra tenths or seconds you're missing. A little progress each day adds up to big results. So jump over to Luke's website. I can firmly testify his Ferrari 296 setups are an absolute joy to drive. Watkins Glen and Silverstone, the two have spent a bit of time absolutely phenomenal. The drivers, let me see, we'll get some race action. So there we go, reverse order grid in race number 2. The teams and drivers put back into their categories. We've got the chat going well as well. Kawasaki, 75 minutes left to go. That is dedication right there. Thank you very much for tuning in. And 13 minutes left to go. SOP Motorsports is in the chat. Going to be a tough one for SOP to win. The SOP3 have been doing well, but the RTO2, 6 points separating the same 2 drivers at the end of 2 seasons. Mindblowing. Lesser in the chat as well, saying good evening. There is Mr. Linksay in the chat. We did have some strong words with Mr. Linksay after his attempted antics at the stewarding. I mean, I can't say we've yielded results that's not working. So yeah, we'll see if we can catch him out. There's some footage, of course, from the start of the session today, captured by the dedicated Raven Comms staff. My name, of course, John Wright, aka Double O Raven. I do like to gloss over that bit. We're here tonight for Donington Park. It is round number 4, and in the standings in the AMS at the moment, that is it is Wesley Hovens and Lawrence that is leading the way in the BMW, 30 points ahead of Daniel Zlatnik, Colin Heselton in 3rd, Lucas Listovsky in 4th place, and Craig Winter, 166 points, so definitely still in contention. In 5th place, Alfred Dogmeat in 6th there, 126 points, so a big gap we see opening up there, but only 3 points separating from David Bly, and a further point back, Ben Knight, Toby Lovin and Jack Duffy rounding out the top 10. Both of those drivers over the 100 point mark. In the silvers, Paul Sadlowski, after the phenomenal drive last night at SOP as well, finishing 3rd there in a strong field. He finds himself at the top of the championship here with a 22 point gap, so it's not quite the gap that we see at the AMS, but and still a long way to go in the season. Christoph Holzer, stuck in 2 seconds. There we go. Sorry, Christoph Holzer and Marcel Schneepman, whose livery is working this week. In third place on 161 points, only 2 points ahead of Adam Douglas. Richard Gasson and Ryan McCord are only separated by 3 points. McCord's only 6 points behind Douglas, and Tom Solis is only 4 points adrift of this group. The top 7 very close. Thomas Lovrick would know to be very quick, and despite the penalty points, still inside the top 10. Sharinga and Nick Cooper also in the top 10. We've got Frank Sidibe, Cormac Quint and Cameron Hayes all over the 100 point mark as well. And in the pros, it is the Luke Southall show. He's equalled Liam Page for race wins, and it's put him an almighty 3 points ahead of his SOP teammate. The Porsche and the Ferrari had a race. Andre Dixon Chen separating the SOP 3 up at the top of the tables. 178 points, 3 points ahead of Peter Brett there in 4th. Sigurd Revzik, I'm sure, will be buzzing after his exploits last night in the BMW. 166 points, 5 points ahead of Dan Watt. It's a point less than he was last night. I wonder how many times that's been brought up in the previous warm-up so far. Ben Nergard in 7th, Jordan Watson in 8th, Elliot Simpson in 9th, and James Whittaker there in 10th position. The drivers are still warming up. As you know, we are here at Donington Park, and Linksy, after his opening round excursion onto the Apex to try and steward the race before the race today, he was at it again, trying to find the best position. He positioned himself. Well, there we go. That's one way to increase your advertising. Pop the car on top of the advertising hoardings. Again, I think there's been a misprint here, but a holy Dougie Lampkin's Batman. So I tripped over myself. Been practicing that one all day. He's gone inverted on the tyres. I mean, it's one way to keep it off the track and off the Apex, but inverting the Mercedes on the tyres is a brave move. Apparently Adam Sandler encouraged it. Oh look, there is Adam Sandler in the front, and there is Linksay on top of the board at the final hairpin. Second to last hairpin. Again, that is some impressive talent to balance the Mercedes. It must be a going away party for the Mercedes, obviously. Now we switched to the McLaren. That's the wrong one. We seem to be missing one. Ah, no. There is another one missing where he appears in the pub. What have I done with that? I've lost that one. There's definitely one. There was one where he's on the last corner of the pub, and then, of course, there he is. On the winner's grandstand. Where else would you expect it? That one final hurrah. There for the Mercedes up on the winning podium, winners podium at Donington. So yeah, a farewell for the McLaren. Will we get stewarding Linksay in the McLaren? One can only hope so. The drivers have just finished a practice session. And the AMs will be leaving the pits. They're here, of course, at Donington. 2.5 miles or 4 kilometres for the more educated than me amongst us. Founded, of course, 1931, way before I was born, contrary to popular belief. Located in Derby in England. 12 corners, 5 left, 7 right, and 289 feet of elevation change. So it is quite the course. Of course, down at the bottom of the hill, the old hairpin. I'm sure a lot of people would wish the new hairpin would come to life. That is an interesting corner down at the bottom of the hill. We do have, there is Alpha Dog Meat. I do want to just quickly double check. That the number 59 livery, cameraman, and it has worked. Excellent. There we go. There's David Blythe on track. Hello again to everyone in the chat. Let's get some warm-up laps in the opening 9 minutes and see what we've got. Yeah, of course, dedication for some good broadcasting and racing. Excellent. Had to say 75 minutes. Went by fast. Superb. Let's hope so. Oh yes, of course, the Luke Harrison link as well. If you'd like to purchase Luke's app, yep, there is a link. Jump in there. Again, I can absolutely 100% testify that they are very, 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 very good. There is the website there. That's how easy it is. Pick your car. There is the full bundle, the American bundle, or the non-American bundle for the cars. And yeah, the Ferrari 296 at Watkins Glen and Silverstone is an absolute joy to drive. Lon Brady's Bardi in the chat. BMW needs ballast around here. How come refs isn't in the Ferrari? He is in the BM, registered in the BMW on the competition page. Come on, Hesse, says Lesser. Let's also need to start trying to come back, but this season isn't BMW territory. Indeed. That guy looks like me too. He actually does a bit with the glasses. I didn't want to push my luck and say you were multitasking. Looking for an autograph from Adam Sandler. But yeah. And yeah, I hope I got the Dougie Lampkin reference, even though I stumbled my way over it. Absolutely shameless. Blythe out on track. The AM leader Wesley Hobbins and Lawrence is out on track as well, and that is a nice bright colourful livery he's got himself as well. Indeed, yes, thanks for waiting. So got some laps coming in. Yeah, Wesley Hobbins and Lawrence. There you can see Linksy has been cleared off the pole. Yeah, I'm quite gutted actually. I had some footage of him on the balcony of this jury's in here on the final corner. You can see it just there. It is there. So yeah, there is some lost footage of Linksy's Mercedes. We will bring you that next week. Or maybe even during the break. We'll see. Hobbins and Lawrence then, he's going to do a lap. Let's jump on board and see how it is done. Let's see, 9:31 this one was built. Down the hill, through Redgate, into Hollywood, and then into the old hairpin. It's always amazed me how much pace you can actually carry through there. Past Starcase Bridge. Of course, there on the left hand side, up to Schwantz, and then the top of the hill, McLean's, and it is all downhill from here through Comica and then along Starcase Straight. It is into Fogarty's S's, which is a chicane, not S's, honestly. As you can see, sudden drop here, and once again, almost like the start to a roller coaster. There's the tyres. We saw the Dougie Lampkin-esque Mercedes balancing on. They won't be there for the duration of the race, even if they are only 25 minutes long. They will be gone. Another sudden drop as we head into the penultimate hairpin, of course. And then along to the last corner. Use as much of the exit curve there as you can, getting the car way over to the right. Really opening that up. And this is going to be his first lap. He's opened that up to run some extra pace into turn number 1. So we'll see how he goes. Heselin goes quicker at the minute by 0.8 of a second. So a good opening lap there. As far as bankers go, that's not bad. Pop at 0.8 ahead of the rest of the field. And Toby Lauren and Wesley Hobbins and Lawrence have set exactly the same time. They've both done 1 minute 28.745. One's in a Mercedes, one's in a BMW. Not too shabby at all. Daniel Zlatnik he is very close. Can't say that at this time of day. 6,700s behind Lone then Daniel Zlatnik, sorry. Brian Bond in the pit, Jack Duffy. Brian Bond, one of the drivers, will be meeting during the interval. As a Scotsman, I'm really struggling with my R's this evening. We'll be meeting 3 drivers a week. We've got another 3 on the cars this evening. Brian Bond, can confirm, is one of them. There is Alpha Dog Meat across the line, 7th in the championship, 7th in qualifying. Keeping up the lucky number 7 tradition, Jack Duffy in 8th, David Blythe. We're looking at the start there, 9th place. And yeah, 9 arms that we've got for this evening. Heselton is going a bit quicker. St. Lawrence is about to close the gap massively then, only a 10th separating them all. Heselton is carrying a 10th, he's carrying 2 tenths through the Fogarty, definitely not S's, as he heads down the hill again into Melbourne. He's got another car just behind him as well, the TLK racing car, looking very Knight Rider-esque, and in fact he's found another 10th. He is picking up a lot of time here in the BMW, so yeah, and another 10th out the final corner. Is he about to put half a second between himself and the championship leader? He is indeed. And he's got this lap left to go that you can see in the background. Everyone will know why so many pros get bunched up and don't manage to get a quality time set. No idea. Answers on a postcard. Heselton down the hill. Oh, he's lost time. Hobbins and Lawrence has nullified his lap. Toby Lowen needs to double the time he's got. David Blythe is looking for a position over Dogmeat, but he needs a big exit. He's not got it. He has gone quicker, but not quick enough to upset the Apple Cart. Woodcut 1.4 off the pace with an identical time to Brian Bond, whose car we're only just seeing now. There's Heselton through the not S's. Lowen is up. Lawrence is on some tyre strategy data. I think at the moment he's not showing up. Lawrence has negated his lap as qualifying is done and dusted. Daniel Zlatnik into the final set. Oh no, Lawrence. Is he up on his lap? Zlatnik's going to cross the line ahead of him. Is Lawrence still on a legal lap? Yeah, so 8 seconds, so yeah, he is. Zlatnik crosses the line, does go quicker and goes up to 4th. He's on the second row as we see the Silvers and the Pros piling out of the pit box. Here we see Hobbins-Zant Lawrence piling into the Fogarty, definitely not S's. The tyres already, speaking of tyres dislocating, bit of dislocation from the tarmac there, and that's quali done for the arms. And Heselton with a clean sweep of purple sectors as well. Almost a half second, and the only arm to go under 1 minute 28. Hobbins-Zant Lawrence giving it a good go though with a 1 minute 28.007. And as a double O Raven, I thoroughly approve of that time. Lowen in 3rd, Zlatnik in 4th. It's Duffy and Woodcut on row number 3 for the arms. Bond and Dogmeat are going to battle out from row 4. Blythe will be on row number 5, all on his lonesome. 2.5 seconds off the pace with the BMW, as we've been seeing, very quick round here, so may not get it so much done in quali, but as we know at RTO, there's one thing they definitely specialise in, is making up places in the races. QW Ravens broken down record on that one. Oh, I can't imagine people are more bored of any other phrase yet. We've got Andre Dixon Chen making his way up into the top 3 over that last race with a very, very, very good outing. Solid run, while others had issues. Linksay getting ready for the penalties. He is indeed lesser. We could bring you some more footage of his questionable stewarding positions over the course. Leon Siri in the chat. Oh, he's got a hammer too. He says SOP better than RTO. They are in this league, Leon, but in the SOP league might not quite be quite the same. You want to join us, are you, Leon? Indeed. Leon, come on, get out and race. Speak to my agent. But yeah, Linksy getting ready for the penalty. He does have the hammer. He's got the hammer. Yeah, I can only apologise for the lead commentary's constant attempts to put in little vocal ensembles that are attempts at music. I can, we do try and restrict it as much as possible, but he is a bit of a loose cannon at the best of times. We've got some qualifying coming in from the pros, so let's save my nonsense. Peter Brett, fourth in the championship, 126.5. My quickest time round here was 4 minutes. There was a big queue at the burger van that day, so it took me a while to get to the front, but yeah, still not too bad. 126.3. Oh no, he's gone quicker. Championship leader Luke Southall, having none of that, good sir, thank you very much. 2.5 tenths please. He takes the Porsche ahead of the rest of the pros. In the silvers, it's Christoph Holzer that is bringing home the bacon at the moment. He is half a tenth behind AM leader Colin Heselton. Richard Gasson in second, and Sharinga up into third position. Snapeman, just extra confirmation. It worked. Delivery worked. So there we go. Oh, there's a bit of overtaking in qualifying. That's going to be a slap on the wrist for someone, boys and girls. It's not big, it's not clever, don't do it. Overtaken in qualifying, massively frowned upon. Unless, of course, the driver ahead is not on a flying lap, but yeah. Let's play it safe. SOP's second best Lambo driver. Cameron Hawes not able to race tonight, but good luck to the Lord refs and all of the Velocity guys. Indeed. Oh, Dan Watts bringing the fight. Remember, we're only halfway through the season. No. There we go. We are only halfway through the season. There are some gaps here, but still plenty of racing to come. And of course, the 2 races out of the 16 will be dropped from the drivers' total. So the best 14 will count. So still a lot of driving still to go. And it just really doesn't fit. Definitely need more screens. Come through the final few corners. It is Dan Watts that we're on board with. Oh, and he's pulled over. Okay, no, he's not. He's opened the corner right up to really go for a run at turn number 1. Also giving himself a bit of space to the McLaren ahead. Paul Sidlowski, championship leader in the silvers, has taken the lead. I don't know what it is I did to ever offend the sim racing gods. But isn't it just fun that we've got number 59 working and Sidlowski is a service number. There we go. Technology. He's leading in qualifying. The livery was probably slowing him down anyway. And that is actually a thing. Back in the day, there was a Formula 1 team changed the colour of the paint because it was too heavy. That is the thing. Christoph Holzer in the Lamborghini, championship leader into the Fogarty. They're absolutely, definitely not S's. And that is maybe absolutely not the way to make your way through there. Elliot Simpson, the rear gunner at the moment for the pros, just behind Sidlowski and Gasson. Heselton now 16th overall. So still a good starting position. This is not an easy track to drive. Jordan Watson for Pulse Simsport in the Lamborghini is almost equalled. And Watson's just gone quicker. 25.7. Southall. Only 600s ahead of Watson, who's separating Southall and Rebzig. Liam Page in 5th, Dixon Chen 6th, Peter Brett in 7th position, but he's got 3/10 in his pocket and he's just brought them home, and that's an almost identical time to Watson, Rebzig and Brett. Oh, the racing isn't only close during the racing, they really do like to keep it competitive during the qualifying as well. Yeah, so incredibly quick times, and again, so close. Every pair in the drivers, a 10th and a half separating the top two. Then you've got Watson, Sigurd Rebzig and Peter Brett all 4/10 off the pace. Off the pace. Off the pole position time. That's how that should be phrased. 7/10 is Liam Page and Dixon Chen. 9/10, I've got you covered. It's Nergard and Whittaker. Then Sidlowski bang on 1 second. 1.1 seconds Gasson, 1.2 Simpson, 1.4 Van Coverden and Holzer. Just tenths all the way down the field. Schneetzman gets ahead. One of the velocity drivers gets himself into the wall. I think that was Dixon Chen. There we go, he's into the pits. We're out of qualifying time. Dixon Chen won't get any more time set, neither will AM leader Sidlowski. Nergard goes ahead. Dixon Chen. Rebzig in the pits did improve. 2/10. Oh, Brett has gone quicker. He's gone ahead of Liam Page, who's already in the pits. Dan Watts isn't improving, but Jordan Watson most certainly is. Oh, he needs to double what he's got at the minute. We've also got Nick Cooper, Adam Douglas and Marcel Schneetzman all on very quick times. They're carrying more than a couple of tenths. Oh, one of them, no he's not. Nick Cooper has just improved. He's gone 13th. Jordan Watson out of the last corner. Does improve, but not enough. Himself and Rebzig, a 1/4 of a tenth of a second separating them. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. Oh, Dan Watts is going quicker. Yeah, of course he is. Dan Watts is going quicker. He's got 2/10 out of the Melbourne, heading into the last corner. He's got the Lambo ahead of him with Christoph Holzer, who's also carrying a bit of time as well, and he could make a solid assault on pole position for the Silvers. Oh, and that is very close. Dan Watts did go quicker with a 1:25.5, and then Holzer 26.9, a tenth and a half behind Sidlowski. Gasson within a tenth. 3/10 off. Yeah, you can hear my voice is going already. I really do need to learn to calm down a bit, man. But it's just, yeah. This is fun. This is fun. This is what it is all about. We already saw the AMS qualifying. Heselton, Hobbs, and Lawrence and Lowe in the top three there in the Silvers. Sidlowski, Gasson and Holzer separated by a tenth and a half. Cooper and Van Coverden with near identical times. Douglas and Sharinga near identical times. McCord not too far off there either. Schneetzman within a tenth of the driver ahead. Quinn and Sidivi 10th and 11th. And in the pros, Watts and Southall taking the purple sectors, but it's Watts taking pole position. Southall Championship leader in the Porsche, surrounded by fellow brethren German manufacturers. The BMW is really bringing the fight as Sigurd Rebzig and Team RTO look to fight back on home soil. Finds himself in third. Watson with an excellent lap, the only other driver outside the top three to go underneath 1:26 with the 25.997. It's a sub 26. Peter Brett in 5th, Liam Page in 6th. It's Ben Nergard in 7th, and Andre Dixon Chen at 9/10 off the pace. 3rd in the championship, though. He will be one to watch over the races. Whittaker in 9th, and Simpson in 10th position. So all the pros finishing ahead of the silvers in qualifying, and only 2 of the silvers finishing behind the arms. So unlike other races, they have, this track really does separate out the pros from the arms. As you can see clearly there, the classes very much separated out. Perfect timing to see Dan Watts lead it off the race. It is, of course, RTO Season 6, brought to you by Luke Addison Racing. A little progress each day adds up to big results. Get over to his website, grab yourself some of Luke's setups, and get involved with the coaching if you need. Very easy website to use. So yeah, jump over there. Very proud both sides are to have sponsored and be sponsored by Luke. And that is definitely working. There we go. Does something like to stick. But it's Donington Park this evening. We've got 2 rounds of course. As always, it is the short formation lap for the short 25-minute race in the short run into turn number 1. It's going to be a red gate battle. As you can see, the Ferrari in the background, way in the background, taking it nice and easy off the start. The BMW holding the position, but Luke Southall trying to go round the outside. That's exactly what championship leaders do. And he's got his nose in front. It's a straight out shootout for the lead of the race, straight out of the starting gate. The BMW has got himself in front. Revsig still in the background. Everyone has made it through turn 1, and it is Watson who's holding on to 3rd position. We've got Peter Brett, Liam Page, Nergard, Dixon, Chen. Everyone, they've all made it through the old hairpin on. They've gone side by side in the background. There's Brett and Page in the background, but I'm not moving from this battle for the lead as Watson just fends off the advances of Southall, but heading up to the highest point of the track. Southall's got himself a very good run. And as he overcooked it and gone a bit deep, and as he opened the corner up to carry more acceleration, he's gone a bit deep, and he's going to come under pressure, and he's already going side by side. Then Jordan Watson with a great start following the lead too, and he's going to have his nose in front into the fog, and he definitely not SS. Can he get it done? Nope. There go the tyres. Lap 1 as predicted. Anyone that had under 5 cars in the sweepy, congratulations. We've got 3 wide on the way into the Melbourne hairpin as they head down the hill. The SOP Ferrari up the inside. Oh, and Watson spun. Watson has spun on. He's in an absolute painful place to spin. He's going to have to hold his brakes. He manages to get himself out of the way. As we can see, the silvers make their way through. Apologies to the rest of the field. There is another 2 classes of car racing. Everyone made it through turn number 1, but that was incredible up at the front. Let's watch this. Jordan Watson, come here. Let's watch this from Watson's point of view. What a start he had, absolutely all over the back of that Porsche. Really bringing himself into contention up the inside. So it was a straight drag race down toward the S's. Oh, and there's a bit of bumping and grinding there. That is some wing mirror babies being born as they head down into the S's. There is first lap Sheridan. Oh, and again he's put him on. He's on the gravel there. There was a bit of a touch on the way through. Then the BMW comes flaring up the inside line. The Lamborghini opens the corner up to get a good rotation. Oh, taking a big tap in the rear quarter, and we can see just how painful that is. And we can see Christoph Holzer and the Lamborghini, the Velocity drivers, all making their way through, as well as the top 10 make good their escape. Ryan McCord right in the middle, but doesn't make it through that one as well. Incredible start. Peter Brett down in 12th place, so I've missed something there as well. My apologies, but Brett, as we're on to lap number 2, that was my knee breaking and cracking into place. Yeah, it is. My apologies for that sound. But as Brett down in 12th position at the minute, and he's behind Christoph Holzer, who's looking very lively against Sidlowski ahead. Whittaker's just made his way through. Holzer looks like he's going to follow him through. This is for the lead of the Silvers, and he's boxed in by his teammate. Holzer's moved over. It's going to potentially be 3 wide into Redgate. That does not end well. The Lamborghini still goes for it round the outside. Sadlowski looking a bit quicker than Whittaker there. Definitely got the exit, and into the equation comes Peter Brett. As we can see him heading down the hill, he's got the Lamborghini. He's all over the back of Holzer, of course, in the silver, so you'd expect Brett to be that little bit quicker. The Lamborghini right out on the gravel then, as his competitor Sadlowski doing the same to try and get past his teammate Whittaker. Very clever driving there by the Lamborghini. He lets Brett through while fending off Richard Gasson. Gasson, he of the phenomenal livery. If ever there's a prize getting handed out, it definitely needs to go his way for that one. He is currently looking good, chasing down the podium positions, and Dan Watts absolutely flying over the front with 1.9 seconds over Luke Southall, who has got his hands full at the moment. Secured Revzig all over the back of his rear spoiler. I do need to remember to breathe now and again. All over that rear spoiler. Ooh, he's a bit later on the brakes there, manages to hold it nicely though, the BMW, as we were reading in the chat. Definitely needs potentially needs a bit of ballast around here. They're definitely getting the job done. That Porsche full defensive mode. In fact, in the background, Elliot Simpson and teammate Andre Dixon-Chen getting very close indeed. They've got Ben Nergard, the rear gunner for the RTO team. This evening he's got Dixon-Chen and Simpson behind them. Oh, Whittaker, of course, Sam was the other side, so sorry, it's the two RTO and the two Velocity drivers that are battling out their 5th position up for grabs. Luke Southall knows that 2nd position is up for grabs, but Secured Revzig knows it's up for grabs too. He's just set the quickest lap of the race as we head once again to the highest part of the track. It is Southall in the Porsche being chased by the BMW further down the field. Again, apologies to the drivers further down. There's some phenomenal battles going on. Watson is making his way comfortably back through the field, and Wesley Hobbins Lawrence, I'm not sure exactly what happened in the AMS. I was too busy paying attention to what was going on up at the front, but in the AMS there's been a big change in the lineup, as it is Daniel Zlatnik that is leading the way. Van Coverdon in 2nd, Woodkit in 3rd, Brian Bond in 4th position, Heselton in 5th place, and separated from Hobbins and Lawrence by David Blythe. Now Razors Occam says the simplest explanation is often is often correct, basically, to shorten it ever so slightly. So yeah, Heselton and Hobbins and Lawrence potentially a bit of contact, the two of them both down the order. Not much damage on either car, as we see two BMWs going side by side. Hobbins and Lawrence looking to catch up to Heselton ahead, in fact, going side by side trying to get the overtake done on Blythe. Is he going to get his nose in front? No, that's on Bond, sorry. So he's got the move done already on Blythe at the last corner. That's Bond, he's just gone round the outside. It's Neil Woodkit he's got ahead of him. Up at the front, it's still as you were for Watts, Southall and Revzig. Watts running off into the English summer sunset, as Southall and Revzig battle out. Liam Page, Southall's teammate, has got himself his own RTO sized headache with Ben Nergard on to Dixon-Chen. Ben Nergard, of course, RTO, Dixon-Chen and Simpson still closing in. You can see Whittaker is still being very much kept in touch. Peter Brett on a charge. I've missed that one completely. He's gone up the inside as the silver teammate of James Whittaker gets the move done through the Melbourne hairpin. Very nice move and well positioned there by the Lamborghini to follow him through, and that is points paying positions for the Lambos. The head round at the last corner out on the exit. Can Peter Brett hold on to this one? He's got his nose very firmly then in front of Whittaker. Nicely done indeed, and Sadlowski looking to stretch his lead over the rest of the silvers. He's now got two pros separating him from Gasson and Holzer, who are running comfortably at the minute, 2nd and 3rd. Cooper not quite so comfortable. He has got fellow silver contender Ryan McCord. And we are seeing, of course, lap 1 penalties. The rest of the races are stewarded. We've seen a drive-through penalty then for Cooper in the silvers. So likely to be, as I say, it's a lap 1 incidents that are stewarded. So yeah, so that will be for a lap 1 incident. So you'll have to serve a drive-through, no matter how short the track, how short the pit lane. Drive-through is never welcome in any length of race. But 25 minutes, yeah, that's really not the length of race you can afford to lose any time whatsoever. Running in 5th at the minute, so that's going to give Schneepman a good, an extra couple of points then. Douglas as well, Sharinga battling in the background. He's dropped down the order ever so slightly as well since the start of his race. Now running in 7th in the silvers, he's got Cormac Quinn and Frank Sidivi. Not too far behind. Sharinga there looking to make a move on Douglas potentially into lap number 1. Oh, does get close in the Lambo. Quinn in the background, definitely keeping a weather eye on that. Let's keep a weather eye on Peter Brett in the Lambo. Ended up down in 12th position. He's now in 9th, which is 8th in the pros, because it's Sadlowski, the silver leader ahead. Our load, do we just keep an eye on Sigurd Revsig and Luke Southall, or do we watch the battle with Dixon Chen? He's still got Nergard, Simpson and Sadlowski. That car has a terrible view for the rear view mirror. That is much better. That's not an S. Dixon Chen does make his way through again down the hill into the Melbourne. It's Nergard not far ahead, and they're definitely putting the pressure on Page. Can't afford to make any mistakes whatsoever. He is getting a bit of a breakaway to Simpson behind. Simpson got a bit of a breathing space too. Sadlowski has got the 2 Pro, and in fact that is a very nice overtake there by Peter Brett. So let's have another look at this one again. This isn't 4 points in the championship, but it is another position back in the overall standings of the race. He's got the oh yeah, there we go. So not so much an overtake, more Sadlowski getting out of the way for the quicker Pro driver. He's still going side by side with Whittaker. Has a bit of a wiggle there to say thank you very much for kindly getting out of the way. Cheeky little flash of the lights as well to say thank you. And he does make his way through. But Whittaker at the minute being outpaced by Sadlowski. Oh no, I'm saying that. Whittaker's quickest lap is actually 10 quicker than Sadlowski. He's just done a 26.8. Equilibriously matched for pace, I think it's safe to say. Revsig and Southall in the same boat. Page and Nergard are almost in the same car, these two, so closely matched for pace, and it's bringing Dixon Chen right into the hunt for this one as well. He's going to try and send this round at the outside of the Melbourne. It's obviously a very difficult corner to do. Has he timed that to get the cut back? Not quite either, but he's got very, very close indeed. And he's got his teammate there, the third driver in the equation. Can he make the most of this one? Dixon Chen left the door open for his teammate to get side by side one there. Couldn't quite get close enough, Simpson, but out of the last corner. Page certainly starting to feel the type of pressure that Southall has been feeling for this entire race. Revsig in that BMW. The two of them, their fastest laps of the race so far are both 1 minute 26.2. There's only 15 hundredths separating the fastest lap of these two drivers. That's why they are absolutely glued together. The fastest lap of anyone, of course, Dan Watts, 1 minute 26.160. Purple lap and Purple Horizon ahead, certainly 3.5 seconds up the road from the rest of the Pro Challengers. We can see Sidivi in the pits. That's not for a drive-through, is it? Did Sidivi get a drive-through? Cooper got a drive-through. Did I misread that? We shall crack on. He is in the pits, and that's not a drive-through because he's stationary. Daniel Zlatnik leading the way in the arms. Colin Heselton back up to second. Woodcock in third. Hobbiton Lawrence back up to fourth, and Jack Duffy coming under pressure in fifth position with Toby Lowen just behind him. Another driver who saw very good pace in qualifying. compared to the rest of the arms, finishing up at the top with Cormac Quinn and Sharinga ahead, doing battle still as well. Watson there in 12th place. He's got Gasson just ahead of him. Watson Renault very quick indeed. Cooper had the drive-through, not Frank. Yeah, I thought that. Brett outbraked himself and took to the grass to miss refs. Ah, got you. There we go. Nicholas in the chat's official. Spa hates me. Spa can be a cruel mistress, this is for sure. It definitely can. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of places you can easily come a cropper at Spa, that is for sure, almost. Saw the Ferrari Page coming a cropper there, but he has managed to survive the ascent to McLean's. Quick drop down the hill, and then another drop down the hill. He's got the two velocity cars very close indeed. There's a whole lot of red in the rear view mirror of the correct car. There we go. Into Melbourne. Watts still consolidating that gap up at the front. Oh, and Dixon Chen coming under pressure. Simpson gets a much better entry into the Melbourne hairpin, but it's the exit that goes the way of Dixon Chen, so it does see off the advances of his teammate. For now, Peter Brett though goes side by side there in the background as Elliot Simpson certainly being hurried on then by Brett. He knows that somebody's getting overtaken soon. So it's Simpson could be looking to get a move done on Dixon Chen to fend off the advances of Peter Brett, who is on an absolute charge at the minute back through the field. It's a good rev six, certainly still applying the pressure to current championship leader Luke Southall. These two still separated by only half a second. Look how close these drivers are again, as Peter Brett looking to get a move still on Simpson, opening up the corner again very nicely indeed. Oh, and that's too much time on the gravel. Surely the Lambo's going to have a look up the inside of McLean's. He's on that inside curve beautifully, really rotates the car. The McLaren right out on that outside line, does keep the gap between himself and Brett for the moment, but how long can he fend off these advances from that Lambo? Brett is looking very quick here indeed. In fact, down into the Melbourne hairpin, we're going to see another side by side. He's had a look, he's got the move up the inside, he's got the car side by side, he's rotated on that curve beautifully. The McLaren of Simpson looking to get a move back if he can. There is the Lambo on the inside line. Simpson's got the outside in the last corner. Oh, not quite got the room to get the cut back, and his job done then for Peter Brett. Back up to 7th position, and now separating the velocity teammates of Andre Dixon Chen and Elliot Simpson. Dixon Chen still hunting down Brett's teammate Liam Page, who's now getting ever so slightly closer to Ben Nergard there in 4th. Shock horror, Secure Revsig and Luke Southall separated by 0.2 of a second. Who would have believed it? We're 8 minutes left of the race, so a solid almost 20 minutes. I'm being lazy, 17 minutes. Solid 17 minutes these two have been inseparable. And it looks like that separation anxiety is going to continue for the remainder of the race. Can Revsig get the overtake done on the last lap? Incredible work to come back from Brett. Very, 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 very well said. Incredible work to come back. The Lambo, he's got that thing absolutely dialed in. He's getting some solid overtakes put in as well. Speaking of solid overtakes in the arms, Colin Heselton looking to get a solid overtake done on David Zlatnik to take the lead in the arms in the closing 10 minutes. Zlatnik got the lead in the opening laps again. My apologies to the arms. I was busy, we were watching the battle for the overall lead of the race, but big changes. So Zlatnik get the lead, Heselton and Hobbinzat Lawrence tumble down the order along with Toby Lowen, the top 3 in quali. As we can see, Van Coverdin coming in the battle as well. Oh, bit of contact over the hairpin there, and they both managed to exit. It's the McLaren of Van Coverdin in the silvers. So an overtake more for pride than anything. So he's now separating the top two in the arms with 6 minutes to go. Can't say I'd be overly keen on being in that position myself. Oh, Peter Brett spun. What's going on there? Oh, and there's a Lamborghini back marker. Oh, I hate to start the sentence that way. Oh, and that's full ice hockey. Dixon Chen's had a bit of a wiggle. The Lambo's gone round the outside. He's got the line. He's got the run. They've gone side by side again up towards it. Oh, that is a clumsy contact there. That will no doubt get looked at. And Brett having to hold his brakes there to make sure not to make anyone else's race worse. So after coming back from 12th, he now finds himself in 14th position. Race 2 is going to be an interesting one. It is Daniel's Latnick, not David. I don't know why that's stuck in my head like there. But thank you for pointing out. I do need corrected on that one, which is embarrassing. I should really get that. Can't turn in there. Not that sharply, no. That definitely did look like a violent change of direction from the McLaren at first glance. But yeah, I'm sure the stewards will be having a look at that. What they won't be having a look at it, I'm sure, is the battle between the two, unless they're looking to put their feet up with a cup of tea and a chocolate biscuit, because this is phenomenal driving by the two, and an even better job from Sigurd Rebsik. He has been on that rear of Luke Southall, and I'm sure that has aided his teammate Dan Watts ever so slightly, not taking away anything from Dan's pace, but 1 minute 26.160 his quickest lap. Sigurd's quickest lap 1 minute 26.255, and Southall 126.280. So only 0.120 seconds separating Watts and Southall's time, and Rebsik's gone slightly quicker than Southall. So yeah, Rebsik certainly keeping championship leader Southall very, very, very occupied over the race that's played right in to his teammates' hands. James Whittaker, another one of his teammates, now coming under pressure from Jordan Watson, one of the drivers we saw with an unfortunate incident in the opening stages. Spun round, faced the wrong way, had to hold his brakes, let quite a few cars get past. He's looking to get back further inside the top 10. Sidlowski ahead of them in the silvers. It means these two are battling for 8th in the pros, and we saw Watson's pace definitely quicker than 8th. He's got the RTO BMW just in front of him, really giving him a whole lot of pressure as they head up towards McLean's. It does seem to be a thing, but tracks built in the 30s in Britain, they've got these almost blind apexes. Brand Hatch has got 3 progressively worse ones as the right-handers from hell. As we see Jordan Watson gets himself side by side through the fog at the S as the RTO McLaren backs out ever so slightly there. He knows Watson got a fair bit of pace. 26.3 Watson's fastest lap, Whittaker 26.8. So certainly not a bad idea to let Watson through and just crack on running your own race. Page now very close to Nergard in these closing stages. An almighty 6/10 of a second now separates Southall and Rebsik. At least 2/10 more than we've seen for the entire race. Maybe they are only human after all. We will see. Hovizant Lawrence looking to get himself much closer to the podium, and in fact the position on the podium is on the cards if he can get past. Oh, and Heselton is in the lead. Oh, and he's very definitely already got that done, so we might miss another overtake. But yes, Latnick. He just gets himself out of the way there, and Aston Martin is going to almost get a free position. Hovizant Lawrence there in the background, flashing the headlights trying to get past. So it's the podium battle for the arms absolutely comes to life. Oh, and there's a bump draft on the exit as we see that snail livery, although that's usually the livery for race 2. wondered why he's got that on race 1, but he does. But that's usually the livery he's got on. In race number 2, it's all happening. Game sound is a wee bit loud. How's that? Is that too quiet, or is that... It does get a bit louder when we're on board. So Helicam is always a good test of that. Oh, Dixon Chen looking close to Elliot Simpson, looking to take some positions. We're right in the closing stages. We've only got a minute and a half left to go. Dan Watts is in first place by 5 seconds. Southall and Revzig still separated by only half a second. Dixon Chen now got Paul Sidlowski looking to improve on his position inside the top 10. He's got 2 pros ahead of him, looking very quick indeed. Woodcote and Slatnik are battling it out as well. Heselton still leading the way. Hobbins and Lawrence right on the back of this, so the top 4 in the arms. Sorry, the second, third and fourth separated by 0.8 of a second across the line. Heselton showing them all a clean pair of heels, 3.8 seconds up the road, but Slatnik, Woodcote and Hovins and Lawrence have got an absolute ding-dong battle. Now Paul's living working, got to lift it. You know what, Joe? I actually did say that. I had Marcel message me today. I went and loaded up replays to make sure it was working, and then... yeah, I actually took a massive pause when Paul's didn't work. It's incredible. Incredible. Just spent 3 hours trying to get 3 medals on the track. Finally done it. Oof. Yeah, this is a fun track. The leader, his livery's worked. His driving talent has worked. The pole position in qualifying has definitely worked as he fended off Luke Southall in the opening corners. He kept the BMW in the lead, and he stayed there for 25 minutes. And he's going to come across the line with at least a 5-second gap over championship leader Luke Southall and his teammate Sigurd Revzig. These two nowhere near 5 seconds of a gap, 5/10 of a gap maybe. We'll see how close it gets, but we'll watch Dan Watts across the finish line. Oh, he of little camera time during the race. My apologies, Dan, you've had even less camera time than the arms since the start of the race. So dominant has been the display here at Donington, the 2.5 miles of tarmac bending to the will of Watts. I did say in deference to one of my favourite UFC fighters, Dan Hooker, I was going to start calling Dan the Hangman Watts. And he is, hanging them all out to dry once again. Out of Goddard's. It's a godlike performance from the man called Watts. The RTO team bringing home the baking. And it is Luke Southall, championship leader, fends off Watts' teammate Revzig for the final. Revzig showing his appreciation of the barriers. I know that feeling all too well at the end of a race on some tracks. Ben Nergard, probably because he felt like he was banging his head off a brick wall trying to get past Southall there. Page and Simpson just behind Nergard in fourth. Apologies, Ben. Let's get you on as well. Andre Dixon Chen across the line. Paul Sidlowski, we've just missed him. Sorry, Paul. We've missed your livery this week. I'm a missed you crossing the line and winning the silvers. Gasson and McCord finishing second and third. And let's have a look at the battle for the arms. Where is Heselton? There he is. There he's going to cross the line, but Zlatnik, Hovins and Lawrence. Hovins and Lawrence is ahead. Oh, and he's side by side into the final corner. He's going to go for the cutback. The Ferrari and the Snail is going to need to be quick. It's 2 Snail Ferraris as they head out the final corner. It's going to be Zlatnik that just hangs on to second position. Then Hovins and Lawrence getting himself third, and Woodcote crossing the line in fourth position. And that's why, because Nidge, I keep saying Neil Woodcote. Why? Somebody's going to have to teach me how to properly pronounce Christian names. What a race that was. Blythe Bond crossed the line to Alpha Dogmeat into the pits already. Dan Watts the race winner, so let's do this. And then look at it quickly, look at the results. We've got another race to come. Oh yes, we do. Could not be less professional when I shout like that, but there we go. Heselton bringing home the win by 5.7 seconds, separate the top two in the arms. 5.5 seconds separating the top two in the pros. Behind them, 3/10 separating second and third, 3/10 separating third and fourth. South Holland Revzig separated by 6/10 of a second, and Sidlowski one up in everyone. 9.5 second lead over Gasson. McCord finishing on the podium, only 6/10 behind Gasson. Nice woodcut, indeed. Don't know where the Neil comes from, or the David. Again, these little foibles do tend to sneak their way in. There we go, but yeah, quality racing there. Well, Dan Watts is going to break the SOP run. Great drive for race one. Indeed it is. Simon, stop trying to jinx it. Ben with a great P4 as well. Indeed it was. Great racing from everyone. Can confirm, Nicholas. 100%. Peter on pole for race 2 at least. Hopefully he can just streak away. Of course, yes. That man is always in an incident. At least once right now. Yeah, there is, yeah. Sometimes you just get a run of bad luck. I remember David Lewis, D. Lewis, for such a long time, was just a trouble magnet. Just seemed to be in the wrong place, the wrong time. Great driver, really clean. But yeah, you just occasionally do get those little magnets. What am I doing? There we go. Let's load that up. It is season 6. It's round number 4. We've got race 2 still to come. That is the season calendar. We'll have a look at that in a second. Let's go over the format first, which of course isn't there. Here we go. It is 2 25-minute races. Let's make sure we don't miss any of that either. Excellent. It is season 6, round number 4. 8 rounds in total. 16 races for the drivers to take part in. The top 14 scores from those races will be carried forward to give them a total for the season. We have already had 4 absolutely incredible rounds. Last week, of course, was a bit of a fun one for all the wrong reasons, but we did get the rainy Laguna Seca that had been promised, and what a race it was. Misano, the Nürburgring, and of course Laguna Seca firmly in the rear view mirror. We've got the Hungaro train at Hungaro Ring, because you can definitely overtake there. Zandvoort, Suzuka and Monza still to come. Suzuka and Monza, definitely 2 of the most difficult turn 1s in motor racing, 100%. I'm not sure you get many drivers that will argue with that. Of course, the racing sponsored by Luke Addison-racing.com. There is the website. There is racing is a platform where you can develop further as a sim racer in Assetto Corsa Competizione through setups and coaching. Luke is looking to help people who share in his interest and passion in sim racing by creating setups that could help get your lap times down by having a setup that is stable, fast and consistent. He also offers coaching if you need guidance on where to find those extra tenths or seconds that you are missing. Remember, a little progress each day adds up to big results. So if you are looking for setups for ACC or indeed coaching, Luke Addison-racing.com absolutely should be your first port of call. And again, I can firmly testify that I've lost that button. That the Ferrari 296 setups, especially Watkins Glen and Silverstone, are absolutely worth every penny. having raced them both myself. Good fun. So yeah, get yourself over to Luke Addison. Get yourself involved there. And follow him on Twitch as well, of course. Make sure you follow Linksay on Twitch as well. I'm sure some of the RTO drivers stream as well. Some of them really should. You know who you are. And of course, make sure you hit that free subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the bell for all the notifications to when the races go live. And you can watch the back catalogue of races that we've had so far. I can assure you they are 100% worth every second of your time on the seat. Why would the highlights count just at the pivotal moment of that overtake? Strange scenes. Almost like Linksay balancing on some tyres. We'll have the next server. Ran out of fuel, so that was a show for me. Says can't stop the chop. That is not the best. I did see a car last night run out of fuel as well, a Porsche at Spa. Had to be helped across the line. So yeah, definitely need to be a bit more on the ball with the calculations in race number 2. 25-minute sprint race it is going to be. Once the drivers get into the server, in fact, you know what, we might just yeah, over the series, looking to get us looking to get people involved in sim racing. What Linksay has done, oh my goodness me, is he's got a broadcaster who likes to push too many buttons too often. There we go. The drivers, we'll be getting to know some of the drivers. Adam Douglas we saw involved in some of the racing at the start. There is one of this week's highlighted drivers. He is 33, British, male, sim racing since 2022, so only a year. Sim racing gear, he's got a Moza R5 with the SRP Moza pedals and a Moza KS wheel. Games he plays are Assetto Corsa Competizione, and his aspirations in sim racing to be a fast boy. I think that is definitely something that we'll all aspire to. Also this week, as I mentioned in the opening, we've got Brian Bond as part, of course, Honey in the chat. Good evening. I'm sure I saw him in there earlier on. I'm trying to do too many things at once again. But Brian Bond in the chat, 53 years young. English and male as well. The beginning, he's been sim racing since the beginning of time, which is quite the achievement. He's not currently in a team, but he does race in the RTO League and Marshals as well if needed. His racing gear, he also has a Moza R5. He's got the load cell pedals and the GT Omega Art cockpit. He does like to vary up his driving between Assetto Corsa Competizione, Automobilista 2, Formula 1 and GT7, not a real driving simulator. I can only read what's put in front of me. Yeah, but I kind of do have to agree. But his aspirations in sim racing are to get better in all areas, much like GT7 should, although disclaimer, it was very good when it was originally released. I've taken massive backward steps. Must have done them in the game, so the really should fix it. Luke Southall, championship leader, another one of the drivers that we are getting to know this week out. He is, of course, reading. I'm reading. He's leading, and that is completely out of format. That is why. Sorry, bear with me 2 seconds while I just do love the way some documents get automatically reformatted. Not the best. But yeah, Luke Southall. He is taking part. 2019 SOP Esports driver, or champion, sorry, some of the notes have got a bit mixed up there. He's got an Alpha Mini, Sim Magic Alpha Mini with VRS pedals, and a GT Omega Titan rig. I've got a GT Omega Prime, can confirm, phenomenal cockpits. He's goals to have fun. He's had in his list of achievements 2nd place in the SRO America Silver in 2022, SRO Europe 2023 Pro Driver, RTO Season 2 Porsche Cup Champion, and 3 949 Sprint Series Champion as well. He's also OOR. For some reason that name keeps escaping me, even though I know Octane Online Racing. I know so many people that race there, and it just doesn't stick for some reason. Okay, so that's for some reason copied twice. So there we go, yeah, 3 times. And OR champion from Link, okay. And yeah, but obviously, and I've ruined that one as well, sorry, but obviously Luke's talents, of course, it's because Linksy taught him everything he knows, something that Luke confirmed himself. So it's good to see just how good Linksy's lessons are when he's got drivers that are leading the championships himself. So phenomenal stuff. There is some more of the highlights. Race 2 server will be live in around 5 minutes. Excellent stuff. Mazda is really tempting currently, especially with all their wheel options, but apparently Fanatec will be going for some new mid-range products. Oh, that could certainly be worth keeping an eye on. Definitely, Rick. For server back in 5 minutes, bear with me a second. I'm going to pour myself some water because, yeah, as you can hear the voice going ever so slightly. I did pour plenty, but it's got a bit warm. And I will be back very shortly, but I will leave plenty more highlights to come, and we'll have race 2 in a few minutes time, not long at all. Back soon. Hello again. I have returned. Cup of tea full of honey. Can't confirm anyone if you do have to use your voice a lot. Squeeze a bottle of honey into a cup of tea with no sugar in there, of course, because there's plenty of sugar in the honey. It works absolute wonders. We're still watching the highlights. The server is just about to start. We are going to have Joe joining us briefly at the start, just to go over a couple of things. He has been keeping a weather eye, as we can see. Why is this not working? From his position, you can see there in the Mercedes, of course, parked earlier on top of the advertising hoarding, just next to the Fogger A. It's definitely not an S. And then, of course, he went full Dougie Lampkin and managed to balance it on the tyres. And as we saw, they didn't even last lap number 1. 4 cars through. There's Adam Sandler, Linksay standing in the of course, Adam Sandler's a Ferrari fan. Apparently, it was him that encouraged Linksay to balance on the tyres after he managed to pull off this magnificent little pose just over the Melbourne hairpin. There is footage of him on the balcony of the Jury's Inn as well. I will get that to you next week, but it wasn't long after there he was seen precariously poised on the winner's podium. Now he's got himself a bit of pace in the McLaren. There's just no stopping that ego whatsoever. Says the broadcaster, throwing him directly under the bus just as he joins him in the comedy booth. Good evening, Mr. Boyle. How are we this evening?
I'm not too bad. How are you all? Welcome everyone watching. Thanks for joining us tonight. Just wanted to go over. There was I don't know if you noticed it in the chat in game, that there was an incident at in lap 1 involving 3 cars, and we are going to review it after the race. Main reason being, it was just. There is a main fault, but there is also a secondary action as well that causes the actual collision. So I just wanted to get a second opinion on it, and rather than dishing out a penalty that could end up being revoked, and we have to do a lot of work behind the scenes, and then it ruins the racing at the front of the grid as well. So yeah, we try and give the penalties harshly when they're needed, but we also we're all here to race. We don't want to drive through the pits. So as long as we can work it in a fair way, then that's what we're trying to do. So yeah, but I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, nicely done. So yeah, I did mention in the broadcast that there was lap 1 stewarding, and then from then on it was afterwards steward. But as you say, with it was a fairly complex incident. There was a lot of moving, and then stationary, and then moving, and then stationary parts, so to speak. Yeah. So it's going to take a bit of looking at, but as you say, it will get fastidiously looked over by yourself and a couple of sources, I'm sure, in good time for next week's standings. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's so what we do is I sit and watch the first 3 laps. So it's the first 3 laps that we watch, not just lap 1, because lap 2 and 3 they can still be close together and people can just send it. So we watch the first 3 laps. By then usually there's people have gapped, or there's like 1 or 2 or 3 cars fighting each other, not groups of 5, 6, 7 sometimes. So then it just ends up being more reported at the end of the race rather than we watch it during the race. Plus there's only one of me, and if I said that we would do all of the incidents, and say something happens on the final lap, then it's very unlikely I'm going to be able to go through that on the final lap and give a penalty before the end of the race. So that's why we're doing it that way.
Yeah, 100% makes sense. As a one-man army, we've got 3 divisions on track at the same time, split qualifying, and of course Linksay, known for his generosity, upping the quality time from 8 to 9 minutes, really working in the driver's favour there, said the Grinch that loved Christmas. So yeah, there is a lot going on, but it has to be said, Linksay, for me personally, obviously with my distinct lack of talent and general fear of attempting overtakes at most racetracks, I'm not the most blasé when it comes. I'm not sure blasé is the word I'm looking for there. the way I'm going with this is for a track as tight and technical as twisty as Donington, over the 3 divisions, very little in the way of incidents overall.
Yeah, I mean, we had Laguna Seca last week. If you haven't watched it, the VOD is on the channel. And it was wet, and it was an entire mess. Everything went wrong, that could go wrong. But in the wet, they all behaved themselves. So I was very close to just making the rest of the season wet. But no, they it just shows it can be done. If you are sort of thinking of your fellow drivers, we're all here to race. We don't want to end up facing the wrong way after someone's just sent it from miles back, expecting to be able to overtake somebody. So it's just. You just got to remind yourself that although you're racing everybody and you want to get forward, of course you do. It is, we're here for fun and to enjoy it. The last thing we want to see is people just sending it down the inside, crashing into people. For want of a better way, we don't want races like that. We just want it to bring you close racing, where people can battle. Not only that, obviously we do the academy, and I live stream on my Twitch channel, which I've just put in the chat. We did the coaching for this yesterday, so the VOD is there if you want to look at it. And we do the academy, live stream. So if anyone's looking to, find out about the tracks where you can pick up lap time and things like this and key parts of the tracks, then we do it live on stream. But the other thing as well, when I'm streaming, we go through a few things, in regards to racecraft. I think racecraft is one of the things that just is been lost when people watch, all these amazing fast, drivers that do, 14s at Spa and things like this. They are incredibly and talented drivers. But in the way I look at it is that's great, but there's no point in doing that if you can't race with someone next to you and crash out. If you don't finish the race because, you've made a mistake trying to go past someone and then, just sent it for whatever reason and you end up in the wall, then it can be all for nothing is basically what I'm trying to say. So racecraft is something that we work on here, and we encourage it, and they're so far so good. I'm going to go find a piece of wood and hug it now.
Yep. I've got a wooden desk for commentating, I kid you not.
Are you rubbing it like just literally holding on to it like I'm not letting go?
Exactly. Listen, I cannot reaffirm your words more. To finish first, you must first finish, and it's way more fun to finish a race than it is to win it. And also, much like Luke Addison's setup, the teaching ways of Joe Boyle are phenomenal. He doesn't just give you, say to you, right, raise this, click, do that. He teaches you how the track works. He got me personally in the Ferrari 488 Evo at the Nürburgring from just over 2 minutes a lap to 1 minute 54.9.
Yeah. I mean, I as much as I'd love to take the credit for that, I can teach. And any
but that's
teacher,
exactly why you need to take the credit, because you taught me which parts of the track to aim for and which parts to avoid properly, and gave them an explanation as to why. Not just aim for that curve. It's not always good to aim for that curve depending on your entrance. So yeah, you definitely need to take some credit. So you're as bad as me for taking compliments. I get that, but I'm going to hammer it home a bit more. But now you can speak, because it's obviously it's your territory.
No, it's all right. No, I mean, it's like, it doesn't matter whether it's me, whether it's Luke Addison, whether it's, another very quick coach that wants to teach you and you're paying to learn from. We can tell you what to do, until we're blue in the face. It's you guys that have got to then get in the car and go and do it. So, it's only sort of 50-50. I commend anyone who can take, what I say or any other coach and then go and find the lap time. We had here people that were, at the end of the coaching 2 seconds faster than they were when they first started, doing the track at the end of last week. So if we can find you 2 seconds, and I need to clarify, that isn't the guys that are like, Dan Watts and Peter Brett and Luke Southall and, Revsvik. They're not going to find 2 seconds here, all right? They're going to find 2 tenths, 3 tenths, okay? But if you're Silvers and Am's sort of pace here, the bits that we teach and the way that we look to do it, it basically allows you to find those, tenths per corner, not per lap. And if you've got 15 corners in a track and you find a tenth per corner, That's 1.5 seconds faster instantaneously. Then the key is to make sure you're doing it lap after lap after lap after lap, and you build that muscle memory, because that is what creates pace in a race situation, which, you know, you've seen it when I've raced in SOP. The amount of times I qualify 17th and end up 5th, it's not because it's not because I'm fast. You know, I'm not the fastest driver at all. You know, I'm struggling to keep up with people like Luke and Dan and Revs and Peter Brett in a lot of races. But in qualifying, but where I really come, you know, into my own is what I try to teach is that full-on lap after lap consistency, which you can only get by muscle memory, and that's the key part that I have to, you know, highlight, that you need to make sure that don't go and do a lap and go, oh yeah, that was 1 second faster, park it and then go and get a coffee and then come back to it for a day. Go and do 5 more, and if you don't get within a tenth of that time, then do another 5. You know, every lap needs to stay within a tenth of your fastest, or you know, get quicker each time because you're getting used to it, you know, and then just keep banging them in. Don't get like 2 seconds slower or in one lap and be like, oh, that'll do, it's fine, I did one. You know, it doesn't work like that. You've really got to push it. So we are waiting on one more driver. There is someone who has not joined the server, so I'm not sure who that is.
A professional commentator would have the answer for you instantly at this point, of course. Unfortunately, you're all stuck with me.
But yeah, that's why. But we'll let the. Yeah, it is an AM, isn't it?
It is an AM because they're down on numbers. There's a couple of AMs missing, in fact. What was the one? Dog Meat's in, Zlatnik's in. The Aston Martin is missing from the AMs, which is a teammate of Team Snail. That's
nice
Woodcut.
He's in. Yeah, he's in. Duffy's in. Bond.
Oh, okay. Yep, sorry, I didn't see that far down.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no, all their AMs are in, so I think it's silver.
Cooper Holzer, McCall, Gas in, Douglas.
I wonder if it's. No, Douglas is there. Oh well. Well, the server's about to start, so if you are watching the stream, you're meant to be racing. So, and there you go. That'll be too late. So I will pass the comms back to you, sir.
Thank you very much for jumping in.
No worries. Enjoy race number 2.
Yeah, and, fingers crossed you get to sit up with your feet and enjoy.
Yeah. Unlikely in race 2. It's this one is the one that everyone looks forward to, because you've got the fast boys trying to come through, and they've got to do it safely, because, you know, points are where it's at, and they've got to do it safe to get back to the front. And yeah, so this is where it's going to be interesting, and it's now in the evening rather than in the middle of the day, so it's a bit cooler. So some of those lap times you might see into the 25s now. So yeah.
Indeed, yeah, they're going to get even cold. They're going to get even quicker now. 16 degrees.
Yeah,
excellent
absolutely.
stuff. Excellent stuff. Right, Joe. Enjoy the steer-down. Enjoy the race, and yeah, I'll speak to you after the broadcast.
All right. Thank you.
Take it easy, bud. There we go. So Joe joining us in the corner box, just confirming. We saw, of course, the big lap incident, big lap 1 incident. Normally, the opening few laps are fully shielded, but it was a big incident, many moving and, as I say, stationary parts as well. So that is going to get another look to make sure everyone involved not only gets a fair crack of the whip, but the fairest dishing out with the penalties as well, of course. It is race number 2 from round number 4. It will be the 8th race of the series. The SOP drivers bringing the heat in the opening stages of the competition. RTO. 2 drivers on the podium from race number 1, but Peter got the bit between his teeth. Brett in the Lamborghini. Some very, very, very strong pace in race number 1. The finishing position certainly belaying that fact, but he's going to start out at the front. He's got, though, a bit of a headache, because he wasn't the only one that ended, safe to say, out of position. Jordan Watson, Pulse Simsport, had all the pace in the opening race, just couldn't find the space to get it done. I'm a poet and I don't even know it, although I do sometimes like to show it. So Watson and Brett, certainly going to be an interesting battle into turn 1. I do not envy James Whittaker on lap number 1. It's going to be Douglas that leads the way, one of the drivers we talked about in the opening. And in the arms, it's going to be dog meat. There is the green light, we're away, and already the Ferrari in the background of Liam Page cutting across the track, looking for the inside line, round the outside. I may have not envied these position, but James Whittaker certainly bringing the fight. Oh, not quite enough space to get the two of them through there. Jordan Watson could sail his way up the inside. He's already got himself up to second position. Where is Whittaker? They're side by side. No, they're not, sorry. Whittaker is still in second. Couldn't see the Mercedes for looking right at the big bright back of it. Adam Douglas is swamped at the minute then. That is Holzer that's made his way through in the Lambo. Sharinga as well. Quint and Gasson all swarming early doors. Oh, and there's a bunch up with the arms, and that's Hovers at Lawrence that's just tapped someone in the rear there, all patiently and politely trying to let each other back through. Colin Hessel and the arms having a big coming together there. Oh, and Aston Martin has run ever so slightly deep there. Peter Brett flies through, takes out the tyres. Lap 1 instantly. Simpson coming under pressure, putting the pressure on James Whittaker then as they come into the Melbourne hairpin, and he looks like he's got this one done. And in the background, Liam Page is looking unbelievably lively as well. He's been followed through by teammate and team and championship leader Luke Southall to come towards the end of the final lap. Look how close these are. Absolutely incredible way to end the opening lap. It's RTO v SOP v Velocity as far as the eye can see. Peter Brett leading the way, and I did mention Jordan Watson there. The two Lambos doing the run, and then it is Elliot Simpson. Does seem to be a bit of a cork in the bottle in the minutes. We see Andre Dixon-Chen go side by side. The red livery leading the way through Redgate. Revzig third in race 1, 7th at the minute. Got Liam Page behind him, and I'm sure he's even more grateful to have Luke Southall behind him after the way race 1 went. In the silver, Sharinga still very lively out of the opening stages. Douglas down to 5th position then as Van Coverdon and Nick Cooper lead the way in the silvers at the minute. Holzer up to 3rd after avoiding that early coming together with Douglas in 5th place, and it is Toby Lowen who's got himself the lead in the arms with Blythe. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does, sorry. Toby Lowen, Blythe and Nige Woodkit in 3rd place. Hovens and Lawrence in 4th, was Latnick now in 5th. Duffy and Bond 6th and 7th. Dogmeat, Alpha Dogmeat in 8th place. That is his name on the qualifying champion and on everything. That's actually his name. That wasn't me casting judgment on his driving abilities. Andre Dixon-Chen into the last corner. Has got a very solid look at the back of James Whittaker. He spent a lot of the first race chasing RTO rear spoilers. He's now sandwiched once again. Ben Nergaard just behind him. Dan Watts, race winner in race number 1, finding himself behind Van Coverdon and Holzer, so not the most solid a start then actually from Dan Watts. That's completely slipped under my radar in opening exchanges, but he's actually dropped 2 positions overall. Southall and Page are ahead. Revzig now got Nergaard ahead of him. No, he does not, because Nergaard has just got past Andre Dixon-Chen. Yes, he has indeed. Nergaard getting the move done on Dixon-Chen. Let's see if we can see this one happen. In fact, we will. So down into the old hairpin on lap number 2. Ben Nergaard being chased along by his teammate Secured Revzig. Can see the rear spoiler of Andre Dixon-Chen through the old hairpin. So much gravel being kicked up by the drivers putting those tyres on the left hand side of the track. 16-degree track temperature, so pretty much optimum to be getting the best lap times and the best out of the tyres. And McLaren again using every single millimetre that they can, with their nose to tail then. So they've swapped positions back again. Ben Nergaard going full defensive. Oh, and he's popped it up the inside. Oh, he's knocked him out of position, then he's straightened them right back up again. We do have a 5-10 second penalty. We've got a penalty coming in for car 121. Jack Duffy from the opening exchanges. He's got the Aston Martin there, 27th. overall. 10-second penalty to be added at the end. Sadlowski up to 4th place with Schneepman and Van Coverdin. Now 3rd and 2nd, Christoph Holzer for Alpha Sim Sport leading the way overall. Jordan Watson absolutely in no way giving up in the chase for the lead of the race. He set the fastest lap in the opening exchanges, and he's given Peter Brett much the same treatment that a Revzig was given Brett's teammate in the first race. Speaking of Revzig, he's at it again in race number 2, hanging firmly on the back, to the back of the car ahead. He's got Nergard though, definitely keeping him. Oh, as well, have a look at the back, and Liam Page here has a look out. The Mercedes really close under braking. Oh, and I think he's had to take slight avoiding action there. The Ferrari of Liam Page is going to come calling into the Melbourne hairpin. He tries to work it around the outside. The Mercedes trying to keep it as close to that apex as possible. The Porsche Southall Championship leader making his way from the back of the grid after finishing 2nd in race number 1. Oh, and out the last corner, so close between the top drivers. Brett and Watson have broken away a bit from Simpson, but they're not broken away from one another, although out in turn 1, just as I say that, we see the gap impressively open up between Brett and Watson for the first time in the race, much like Christoph Holzer in the silvers. He's got Van Coverdin in 12th, Sadlowski in 3rd place with Schneepman in 4th. They've got a second back to Cormac Quint as the light diminishes for the drivers. Horizontal Lawrence is back up to, or he's in the lead, sorry, wasn't leading any point previously in race number 2 so far, but in opening 7 minutes he has got himself up to the front of the Am field. Blythe just been overtaken there by Cooper, who's in the silvers. Colin Heselton, one of the faster drivers in the AMS in race number 1, finds himself in 3rd place at the moment in race 2. Woodcock is all over the back of the minute of Alpha Dog Me, who's just got that overtake done. Aston certainly not giving up on this one. Paul Sadlowski looking to improve his podium position in the AMS. He's gone to the inside, he's gone to the outside, he's gone later on the brakes. Can he hold it around the outside? The McLaren's got a good exit and keeps his nose just about in front. Can he hold on to it into Goddard? So Sadlowski right up the inside, nails it on the brakes. He's on the inside line, clearly in front of the McLaren through the middle phase of the corner. And Sadlowski back up to 2nd. Can the Silver Championship leader catch up to Christoph Holzer ahead? 17 minutes for these two to do battle. We have another penalty coming in from race control, and it is a drive-through for Adam Douglas for a lap 1 incident. The Tiger Club Racing driver will have a trip into the pits. Quick drive through, and he'll be back out and running. Dan Watts all over the back of the SOP pair, who are all over the back of one another. Southall has got in his way ahead of Liam Page, and as we can see there, just over the highest part of the track, Southall is off and running. Dixon Chen feeling the Revzig pressure at the minute. The BMW RTO, the RTO BMW, I'm going to get those two the wrong way around, hunting him down into the final 2 corners. Look how close that BMW gets, very nearly a BMW badge in the back of the McLaren there. Ultimate control on the brakes and accelerator from both of these drivers. Peter Brett up at the front. Oh, let's see what Revzig can do on the corner exit here. Not quite enough to get that bit closer. McCord and Sharinga are very close. In fact, the RTO driver might get a good run out of the final corner here. Heselton all over the back of Blythe in the AMS. This is for 2nd position. Blythe currently in 2nd. Heselton looking to improve on his podium standing. He's got Daniel Zlatnik closing in handily behind. And he is changing up. He's gone for his race 1 livery in race number 2. The Dragon Ball Z does usually come out race 1, but there we go. Got it out in race 2. Team Snail. I do like liveries. Nice Woodcote out with the Peter driving for them as well. That was Yep, he's got the Team Snell Esports there. Ryan McCord is all over the back of Sharinga still. Sidlowski has caught up to the back of Holzer. This is the battle for the silver lead. Revzig and Dixon Chen are still battling out. Brett just battling with himself now, 1.1 seconds ahead of Jordan Watson. The two Lamborghini drivers off and running up at the front in the opening 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes already. Sidlowski trying to make a move in the final two corners again. He really does know how to get that BMW through, and he's got the lead of the race very handily. I'm not sure Holzer massively defended that one, or did Sidlowski just make that look that easy there in the BMW versus Lambo battle. In through the fog area, it's definitely not an S, it's a chicane. It is the Lambo, keeps it nice and neat, but as Sidlowski gets a wonderful exit, then positions the car on the outside, opens the corner up. Yet the Lamborghini ran a bit deeper, just gave him the space there, but certainly that is Sidlowski, championship leader. He'll be on a high after his result last night, and he'll be on a high now, leading the race in the silvers. That's going to strengthen his grip on the championship now that we've reached the halfway mark of the season. We're on board with Dixon Chen, who's been overtaken then by Sigurd Revzig, and we missed that while we were watching the previous overtake, but you get the feeling it was somewhere after McLean's, because this is Goddard's and it's job done already. Dixon Chen has been on the receiving end of a penalty there. 5 seconds we saw appear next to his name. That might slightly be added to. No, sometimes the penalty comes through in 5-second integers. So we'll see what happens there. Top chat instead of live chat. Why does it keep resetting like that? So apologies if I've missed anyone in the chat. But yeah, Cameron, I did have a look at the stinger thing. It is a custom one, so I'm not sure how much I'll actually be able to manipulate that. But it is something that I've been aware of, so I'll have another look and see if I can get that changed, because it does look a bit weird the way, the stinger does go a bit not quite quick enough. But yeah, we'll definitely have a look at that, so thank you. And again, sorry to anyone whose comments I've missed. YouTube does this thing at live chat and talk chat, and I've just switched it to live thing. But welcome in everybody watching. I hope you're enjoying the racing as much as I can. Just a 5-second penalty for Dixon Chen. Confirmation there from Joe in the steward box. Whittaker, look how close it is up at the front. You'll see the setting perfect, Cameron. Yeah, I will have a nosy at that. Luke Southall looking very quick. Championship leader, got Ben Nergard chasing down Ben Nergard. Dan Watts, winner in race number 1 and 9th place ahead too of Liam Page van Coverden battling out. Oh, is that Sharinga? Oh no, that was just the timing sectors updated. P14 has just spun. Was that Sharinga? Oh, excellent. Yeah, you can jump in and do some cool comms as well. We've got the pleasure of the man himself joining us in. Another phenomenal start, it has to be said. I mean, there is ridiculous amounts of action going on, so I'm probably going to interrupt you more times than is polite. But a great start. Yeah, much better conditions for Revzig, really using that exit there. He's
really pushing.
He really is pushing. He had a lot of work to do. I mean, hats off to Luke Southall. He's a championship leader for a reason, but he fended off Revzig for that 25 minutes, so hats off to both of them for being so close. But yeah, you can imagine that Revzig will be looking for not to get held up behind anyone this race, and he is certainly looking very quick at the minute.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job moving the way through. Peter Brett doing a great job out front, just controlling the pace. Jordan's gone with him. There's a big gap between the two Lamborghinis and obviously Elliott Simpson for velocity. James is hanging on the back though, so there's potential for the RTO guys to get up past the McLaren if they can work together. But I think Refs is we always run a every man for himself thing in the team anyway, unless it is a constructors championship, and same with the league, it has to be that way. But at the end of the day, refs has got the pace to get through these two.
Sorry, we've got a Lamborghini round. Is that Sharinga? It is. It's Sharinga just on the edge of the podium battle. For the silvers, that's going to bring Gasson right into the mix. Ryan McCord, back-to-back podiums. It's on the card. He's got Cormac McQuinn ahead of him, who will, I'm sure, contest the potential of that outcome. Paul Sidlowski, not only showing a clean pair of heels to the rest of the field, Linksay, he's bringing it to the pros this week again. Leading the way in the silvers after starting from the back. A great drive last night as well on SOP territory, but a well-deserving championship leader at the minute in the silvers, and it's another incredible, it's a solid drive again from Sidlowski, getting the head down, no crazy moves or anything, just getting the head down, showing the race IQ, knows when to let the pros through, knows when to battle them, and a great drive from Paul.
Yeah, it's something that he does well. He's a bit like me in the race. Sometimes quality doesn't get anywhere, and then all of a sudden he pops up, right near the front. But he in the SOP races yesterday, I mean the GT4s, he doesn't really do much practice until about an hour before the race sometimes. So to be where he is at the moment, due to commitments outside of our sim racing world. He's doing a great job, and the Beamer here, don't get me wrong, the Beamer is very strong here, so it's not not to be sniffed at. It's probably it is the strongest car on the grid. It did get a nerf, but it's still comfortably.
Sorry, we've had massive news in the arms. Massive news in the arms. Colin Heselton on the podium, drive through for track limit violations. In 17 minutes of racing. Not to be too harsh, but I believe we'll call that a schoolboy error.
Yeah, they get the penalties cleared, and then it's just a 5-second time penalty. So
okay.
The reason why we do that again is it keeps the racing close, because obviously every now and again sometimes you could be fighting someone and just go slightly wide from being knocked, and then all of a sudden you get a drive through because you're already on the 3. So we just change it to a 5-second time penalty. Then we review it after the race. We basically just look, because we get a log and we can see how many times people go off track. And that way I can just look back and see if he's just straight line to chicane. Is he doing it lap after lap to try and get an advantage for a few laps or whatever? And then the penalty will be adjusted at the end of the race, after the race. So it looks like Dreambound was
not having a good race. Yes, in the chat. Just a quick reminder, if we could keep the language in the chat PG friendly as well, that would be excellent. Thank you very much. But he's disconnected just as race 2 was getting decent. So not impressed with the game, it is safe to say. Drive-through went already last, so pointless continuing, says Can't Stop the Chop, whose name I cannot remember in the race. I was taxing myself today for not remembering. A couple of drivers got in touch with me about their liveries. I'm thinking to myself, I can't remember which driver that is, but then I remembered I've got 678 liveries in Awesome Sim Racing, and that's only been on the go a few months, so there's a few drivers I've met.
That's a few.
Over a few series.
Richard Gasson,
and you've all got different names.
Oh, yep. He's all over the back of the Lambo. Obviously, Sharinga is trying to make his way after that spin in the hairpin.
He is indeed. There's so many battles going on actually. I've taken a big break in the comedy, but let's get right back into this, because Brett and Watson are only separated by half a second, and look at Sigurd Revsig. He's got the move done there on James Whittaker. He's now all over the back, so very, as Linksay was saying, no team orders here. Every driver for himself, but you still do have to get it done nice and neat and clean. He's got his way past Whittaker. He's got Andre Dixon-Chen in his rear view mirror. Dixon-Chen now with another RTO driver, although Ben Nergard looks like he might fall foul of Luke Southall sooner rather than later, and Dan Watts looking to get himself involved in that one as well. As Lindsay was pointing out, we've got Gasson. I really need to remember to put my glasses on earlier. He's in the Mercedes. Oh, he of phenomenal livery. It's got barbed wire on it. How can you not love it? It's got Sharinga ahead of him in the Lambo. We saw Sharinga have a bit of a spin, and Paul Sadlowski as well. Phenomenal control and pace he's shown, still within 3/10 of Liam Page. One of the drivers comfortably in the top 5 in the pros. And Sadlowski giving him all he can handle at the minute. I'm sure he doesn't want to try anything overly risky, of course, because it is not going to yield him any more points. But what will yield more points, if Jordan Watson can get this overtake done into Redgate, the two Lambos having themselves a race. And just as I say that, Revzig looking to make it even closer out of the last corner. Whitaker and Dixon Chen right on top of one another as well. We've got 4.5 minutes left to go. We really need to make these slightly longer races as Revzig chases although I'm sure the drivers currently in their positions I'll be wishing they were a bit shorter, because there's a lot of pressure they're going to be soaking up. Peter Brett not quite got the run in race 2 that Dan Watts did in race 1. Watts with a 5.2 gap, the same gap at the top of race between the pros and the AMs at the end. And scarily enough, there's 5 points between Revzig and Watts in the championship, and the last 2 SOP championships they both competed in, they were separated by 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, these two just push each other every week. I mean, I know the amount of hours these two put into set up work for the BMW. I've never seen any two drivers in the same team work so well together. And although if one beats the other, they sit there and go, congrats, well done, mate. I know inside they're both going, the one that lost is like, right, where do I need to find that extra bit of pace? And the next race they'll be the one in front, and it just pushes each other just to get quicker, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, it really is. And speaking of so much quicker, Revzig on the exit to Melbourne, they're so much quicker than the McLaren. I do love the rear spoiler shot of the McLaren as you get to see the flames firing out of the back of that thing as it smashes its way through the gears. Back up, lurking in the background, and he's not lurking in the background, he's side by side. The pros have gone side by side. Oh, and they've made a bit of contact as they head down the hill. A lot of light flashing there from Peter Brett into the old hairpin. It's Watson that's got the lead of the race, so let's watch the run up to that out of the last corner. It's Watson that must have got a very good run. No, he didn't. The Lamborghini ahead. Okay, so as they're closing towards the braking zone, the Lambo Watson did get, and that's a big snap of oversteer there, so it was lateral movement on the rear of the Lamborghini that encouraged the overtaking manoeuvre. Can't turn in there, sir. A little bit of contact, but let the stewards make a decision on that one. That's why I get to broadcast and commentate and judge other people and pass the buck to others more race inclined than I am, but we've still got some more battling going on. Phenomenal stuff up at the front from the Lambos. Brett is not giving up on this one.
Yeah, I mean, we run a rubbing is racing policy here. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that was just two guys going at it, which is what we want to see. So yeah, good stuff. And yeah, they've had a bit of contact there into the hairpin. But yeah, they've both waited up. I think Peter Brett getting involved, he realised he's made a slight mistake here, and he joins on with a quick. And now they've come together. Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah, they did come together.
Indeed they did. So they two have come together up at the front. Will that bring Elliot Simpson and Sigurd Revzig into the battle? Revzig 3/10 yet again off the back of a car ahead. He's going to need to get that on his livery. 3/10. Wow. Really using that exit there. Brett and Watson now separated by a massive 2.8 seconds. There's nothing like that between the two of them as Simpson goes around the outside as Revzig goes the inside line. They're going to reach McLean's, the highest part of the track. This is going to be Revzig's highest position in the race. He gets it up the inside. A little bit of a rub on the way through, but absolutely nothing at all in that. Little bit of paint traded, but that is Revzig with a beautiful move, and it puts another velocity driver smack between two RTO drivers. Revzig back onto the podium, back up to third position, which is a phenomenal drive in this field when you think that Luke Southall finished in second at race 1. He's in 7th. Dan Watts, race 1 winner, he is in 8th position. Paul Sadlowski is still very politely driving behind Liam Page. He's actually 2/10 a lap quicker than Liam Page at the minute, so that just goes to show you the pace he's got and the patience he is showing. That is one of the arms getting lapped there as Peter Brett crosses the line to start his final lap. Colin Heselton got a 5-second penalty, but he is leading the way in the arms with Daniel Zlatnik the wrong way round on the last lap. Oh, we might miss the winner crossed the line now because I hit the wrong replay button, so this might be a bit long. Oh no. But we'll have a look and see there. Daniel Zlatnik. It's only my little brother's name. You'd think it would stick a bit easier. On the last lap, he was on the podium, and then we saw him in the kitty litter into Redgate in the dark. We saw the Lambo back end go here. That's not where. Now, so it's through the old hairpin. As he pushes luck through the old hairpin, not a corner you want to play Russian roulette through. The odds are massively stacked against you. Oh no, everything seemed fine through there. It was the wrong replay button I hit. So where is it he's come off?
Peter Brett's about to cross the line.
Oh yeah, there we go, on the way up to McLean's, just totally loses the back end. Hopefully we'll catch Brett crossing the line. I need to get a second PC. There we go, just as he crosses the line. Peter Brett in the dark does take...
Peter James just lost to Luke Southall going in the final corner. That was that was interesting.
Let's have a look at that then, why don't we?
Yeah, so that was fun.
Luke Southall in at the final 2 corners. In the background then, James Whittaker in the foreground, Elliot Simpson in front. So this is a battle for positions just outside the podium. Oh, that's a full Leroy Jenkins signed, sealed and delivered. Not even next day, that was same day delivered there. Full signature required. He got that one done and dusted. Paul Sadlowski, after an unbelievably patient and quick drive, brings home the silver win. Christoph Holzer already in the pits in 2nd place, and Ryan McCord back-to-back podiums. What a drive. And we've got a drive-through on for Blythe on the last lap for track limits. Hovinsdad Lawrence brings home the win. Heselton provisionally in 2nd position. The drive-through may be re-looked at, and Toby Lowen crosses the line with the Mercedes to round out the podium for the Arms. Oh, Linksy, another incredible round of races. And
Absolutely.
As much as I fear Donington, it absolutely delivered tonight. Full credit to the drivers as well. Tough track.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the thing with the British tracks, all of them, they're old school and they are fast. And what we've talked about in the coaching session, like here, is one of the key things is your minimum speed. You've got to keep it up here. It's an old school British track, very similar to Brands and Silverstone, where there is a lot of speed. And that then brings its own danger if you're sort of close together, like a lot of these guys were. And I know there was a few penalties given out in that second race, which I said usually there are a bit more given out, but again, they weren't crazy or reckless. Only one that was from an absolute mile back, which ended up being a drive-through. So yeah. And other than that, it wasn't reckless. It was just slight mistakes here and there, which is fine. We make mistakes, but obviously we strive to do better, and that's what we were looking to do.
Yeah, make mistakes. You learn from them. You move on.
Exactly.
Makes everything better. Peter Brett, Watson, and Revzig once again on the podium, back-to-back podiums, much like his teammate Ryan McCord, and of course Paul Sadlowski. So RTO really bringing the fight to SOP in the pros, and bringing the hurt on the rest of the field in the other classes as well. And as we saw there, Hovinsdad Lawrence bringing home a well-deserved win in race 2 in the Arms. Heselton and Toby Lowen rounding out the podiums there. Nice Woodkit finishing in 4th in race 2. Brian Bond in 5th place, and Zlatnik after that late spin coming home in 6th position. So interesting times ahead in the championship. Of course, it is RTO Season 6. This was round 4, sponsored by Luke Addison Racing, a platform where you can develop further as a sim racer in a set of Corso Competizione through setups and coaching. As Luke himself says, a little progress each day adds up to big results, and thanks to his Ferrari 296 setup at Watkins Glen, I got 2 seconds quicker and very nearly did a 44. 1 minute 45.1. I will get myself a 44, so please don't let my times be a reflection on the setups.
To be fair, you don't really race ACC as much anymore, do you? So
but I'm coming back to it. I've uninstalled Race Room since the 1.9 update.
Oh really? Why? How come?
Because ACC is just so much better now. I can drive it now.
Okay.
I don't get the fear going near a curb and stuff. So yeah, as someone, as Lindsay, don't get me wrong, I will probably go back and dabble in the F4s a little bit. But after driving, I'm going to say this. It's great as a broadcaster to be able to wholeheartedly get behind the product that is sponsoring the program that you're on. And I can confirm,
absolutely.
the Ferrari 296 at Watkins Glen is an absolute joy to drive with both the Luke setups, the quality. It really, 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 really reignited my love for ACC, quite frankly. So then to find out a few weeks later that Linksy wanted me to broadcast the series that was being sponsored by Luke, I was a very, 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 very happy broadcaster, I can confirm. But yeah, no, Race Room is a great game. The F4's phenomenal. But thank you, Luke Addison, for reigniting my love for ACC, which he really does. But honestly, give it a try. You will not be disappointed. So that's why I'm back on ACC. We'll load
Great to
up.
have you back.
Finally. I mean, if you ever, stop hiding behind other tracks and load Watkins Glen, and maybe come out and put you in your place if you want.
Live on stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Live on stream.
We are now joking.
That's it. There we go. And
maybe we could
confirmation.
maybe we could do like a challenge at the end of the season or something between us in the same car.
Yeah, there we go. Confirmation there is the eyebrow that Linksy just raised. Just to confirm, there we go. Just popped that up. But enough of me flirting with one of the fastest drivers on Twitch. Make sure you jump onto Linksy's page. Again, you won't be disappointed. The teaching methods that he uses to teach you to be quicker around tracks, absolutely incredible. Again, I can wholeheartedly say the work because I've been on the receiving end. And definitely worth your time. Get involved in the Discord as well. You can get involved in the race. And as you can see, a wide variety of skills all on track at the same time. 3 divisions catered for. And again, if you're in the RTO Academy, you get that vital teaching as well. So make sure you get involved. Thank you to everyone that's hit the subscribe button, that free subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure you hit that and hit that bell as well, so you can keep up with the rest of the series. Is the Hungaro ring next? And I did get that one correct. Yes, it is the Hungaro train next, so make sure you get tuned in for that. We'll leave you with the closing highlights. And a quick thank you, of course, from the man, the myth, the legend that organises this whole thing. Is Mr. Joe Boyle himself, Joe.
Who's that guy? Who's this guy then? He's obviously doing a better job than me. Maybe I should get him involved. Thank you very much. That's it. I'm just glad it all worked this week. Last week was just, what was it we said before? For some reason we were nervous and we didn't know why. And then when all that went off, we were like, well, that's why. So yeah.
I know, but yeah, an hour and 11 minutes between qualifying and the race starting.
Could you imagine me doing the broadcasting and that at the same time? I was bold as it was, let alone anything else. So yeah,
fun
it was
times,
crazy.
Fun times.
Just glad it all worked. But thanks to everyone who's watched again. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and don't forget the bell so you can keep an eye on when we go live. We are going to move, as of next year, all the coaching will be done on YouTube as well, so it keeps everything together. So hopefully you guys will be able to see all the coaching bits that we do. And hopefully help you drive. Don't forget you can join our Discord. The Discord channel should be in the description for the channel itself. So you can join us there and come and chat to us. Everybody is welcome. Even if you're not here for, you're not actually a sim racer, you can join in, get involved in the community anyway, and to see what it's all about. If you're thinking, what products do I need? Do I need to go and spend thousands of pounds on a rig and wheels and bases and pedals and all this, or do I need to just go and find myself, a second-hand set of pedals and what sort of gear am I looking at? Come and speak to us. We can definitely look to help you guys out. So, yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. Jump in the Discord. Everything laid out. RPM likes it. The man that does like to gift Formula 1 drivers Twitch subscriptions. Gotta love that dedication and promotion. So thank you for tuning in tonight, RPM Like. And again, big thank you, and totally agree with everything that Joe's just said. I'll be back next week, same time, same place. And after watching tonight's races, I know you will be too. We'll leave you with the highlights right up to the race winner. But until next time, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.